All right, we're going to get started. So Cleopatra is back in the news. It was just like a week ago that we talked about this, maybe even less. Jada Pinkett Smith is producing a documentary called Queen Cleopatra on Netflix, and it is under heavy scrutiny from a lawyer in Egypt who says that it's forging Egyptian history.
Yeah, this goes against their media laws in Egypt, supposedly, which I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
The guy's name is Mahmoud Al-Samari.
Yes.
I believe. And he has a legal complaint that referred to the series as a forgery and attacked Netflix for the crime of misleading viewers. He says most of what the Netflix platform displays does not conform to Islamic and societal values and principles, especially Egyptian ones. That just sounds like an indictment of Netflix as a whole, which I guess is true.
Yeah.
But does it have to do with Cleopatra specifically? I don't think so.
I'm just sending a message to Andrew.
It also read, in order to preserve the Egyptian national and cultural identity among Egyptians all over the world and take pride in it, consolidate the spirit of belonging to the homeland, and accordingly, we ask and seek you to take the necessary legal measures against this platform.
What do you think that would even be? I also, what I thought was funniest about this, this is how my brain works. I'm sorry. My brain is horrible. It says he officially filed a lawsuit against Netflix's documentary, Queen Cleopatra. I'm like, how do you sue a documentary? Don't you sue a person?
Maybe he's trying to get it banned specifically in Egypt.
Yeah.
Not for the globe.
Yeah.
But he said that the series is falsifying facts and that Netflix is trying to stir up confusion to spread false information that the origin of Egyptian civilization is black. Cleopatra was Greek, meaning that she was blonde, not black. The assertion about her hair color being blonde is kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
Because likely she was a Mediterranean person, meaning she could have had light skin but dark hair.
It's really funny too, because I wonder about this. So as Americans, we tend to export our entertainment and we import ideas from other cultures. A lot of times we'll take. Thank you. I didn't even realize we'd hit it. Thank you guys. I love that sound effect. 15 minutes. I'm gonna watch Spider-Man tonight just so I can rewatch the series. We export a lot of entertainment and we import a lot of ideas about, for things where we then, I love the show The Killing, which is based off a Danish drama, but we didn't just import their version of it. We made our own substandard version of it. At least all the film nerds tell me our version is the substandard version of it. Imagine watching a documentary on American history made by the BBC, I guess, or some other country, would Egypt make a version of a President Lincoln documentary where President Lincoln is Egyptian?
I'm confused at this because Jada Pinkett Smith seems to think that this is deeply important for Black Americans to view, when they really have zero connection to the culture that it's teaching about falsely. Jada said, we don't often get to see or hear stories about Black queens, and that was really important for me, as well as for my daughter, and just for my community to be able to know these stories, because there are tons of them.
Well, then why not?
Even if there are, it's like Cleopatra is just not on the list.
Yeah, why
would she get the #1 spot?
And what's scary about this is it really does prove the power of these companies now, that when all your media is coming through streaming, when all your news is coming through digitally, they really do have the ability to rewrite and obfuscate history by changing things that have a little bit of fluidity. So we know who her dad is. We don't know who her mom is. And all I could think of, right? Am I right about that?
I mean, I think that what some historians have said is her dad is Ptolemy the 12th. The 12th.
Yes.
But they're claiming that the ethnic origin of her mother has been up for debate, and it's not certain. But given the fact that she's in the Ptolemy bloodline, it's highly likely that she was inbred, meaning her mother was almost too closely related to her dad.
Yeah.
making them of the same exact ethnic origin, Greek-speaking Greeks.
But what scares me is the lack of clarity around an issue like this is exactly where activist-minded, evil people get involved, because the lack of clarity breeds opportunity for them to manipulate things.
That's where they rush in to make Hollywood dramatized versions of reality. And then people really believe that that's the truth.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And I wish that there were... I wish we could get into the minds of these people who desperately need validation so badly that they want to rewrite history to get it. Now we have a response from the actress that they cast.
Yeah, I saw
Queen
that.
Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Her name's Adele James. She tweeted, FYI, this kind of behavior won't be tolerated on my account. You will be blocked without hesitation. If you don't like the casting, don't watch the show. Or do and engage in expert opinion different to yours. Either way, I'm gassed and will continue to be.
I'm going to be fair. I don't know what else they expect her to say. It's not like she's going to be
I would have said nothing.
Exactly. Like, you either say nothing or you say, hey guys, we totally made it up, and that's fine. Like, she was never going to say that.
Look, it's just like with the Moses Ingram thing when she was playing Reva and everyone just blew up this story about how she was getting attacked by racist fans.
Yeah.
You can put a spotlight on 2 to 3 individual people online that are giving you shit, and then it makes it out like that is the whole of the criticism you're receiving, but that's just disingenuous. It's not the actress's place to even respond. She's not the one that wrote this material.
No, she's just doing a job.
Yeah, she was just doing a job, but it seems like she's now ideologically aligned with the project. I'm
sure she would have to be, right? Like, they're not going to hire, like, I'm sure somebody who wouldn't want to be involved.
Sure, but I just don't respect the ideological line that they're pushing, which is that African-American women, Jada Pinkett Smith and Willow Smith specifically.
The actress is British, I think. That's another thing people point out. They said, why is she speaking with a British accent?
Oh,
in the trailer.
Well, that's kind of what they do for a lot of films that are about
to be
foreign
fair, I loved the show Marco Polo, and they're speaking English in that.
American English?
Yes. Okay. No, not like, but like they have like, they're speaking English, but not with not with American syntax.
Okay. Look at Will Smith on Emancipation. Yeah. And then Jada Pinkett Smith producing Queen Cleopatra. These two people clearly, having lived lives of extreme comfort and privilege, are searching desperately for a narrative of victimhood.
Viola Davis with The Woman King portraying a tribe that did have slaves as if they did not.
You're going to need to rewrite history altogether to valorize people who did both right and wrong.
Yeah.
It's like morally complicated like everything else. But Will Smith and Jada Smith particularly are despicable people because they're preying on the insecurities of people who are desperate for representation from Hollywood.
And that
the insecurities are things that need to be addressed in and of themselves.
Yeah.
And the solution is never going to be seeing yourself on screen. It's going to be something you deal with within yourself.
Does your brain work that way? Well, like, I think about it when I watch movies and television, I get so wrapped up in the weird eccentricities that a character projects that I don't ever think about how that relates to me. Like, it's just not the way my brain works. Like, I don't watch here's an example. People make fun of, like, Tom Cruise is short. I don't look at Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible and think he's short. I think this is a character who's got particular traits. I watch John Wick. He's stoic. I'm not stoic. I still like the character.
Do you find it aspirational, though?
No, I don't really think of entertainment in that context. I find more of a hope for aspirational content when they're showing things about families.
Okay.
Like when I'm watching real life like things that could mirror the real world, I'll look for aspirational or feel good stories in that regard. When I'm watching something that's fantasy or clearly a work of fiction, I'm not looking always for aspirational. I'm looking for intriguing character, and how that relates to me never comes into the equation.
Well, we were talking about the difference in the way that men and women take in media and how they experience protagonists as a reflection of them or not. So the women are like, it's like, I'm Barbie.
Yeah.
Or no, they're like, Barbie is literally me.
Yeah.
And then when men are watching John Wick, they're like, I am literally John Wick. Like my personality is like non-existent in this universe where I wish I were.
I would
John
imagine
Wick.
that I was suddenly stoic and had an 100% hit rate from like unbelievable distances with a handgun.
But you're like, it's like you're fantasizing about being John Wick,
Yes.
not about John Wick being you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It wouldn't be a thing.
That's a whole other conversation because we're talking about fictional people. When it comes to a historical figure, you're going to run into problems because you're rewriting someone's real life to represent yours, and it's incredibly narcissistic and destructive to people's knowledge of human history.
Do you think, would there be a way for us to do some type of study that could somehow indicate how levels of narcissism in culture have grown over time?
I don't know if it's...
I don't even know if it's possible to do that type of research, but I think about these things because if anything, I have one of like the lowest self-esteems. I don't have super high self-esteem. I'm not ashamed to admit that, but I think about it, and I think a lot of it, what we see in the narcissism in culture, is people looking to bolster self-esteem through themselves. And one of the ways they do that is by seeing media that they feel like represents them in a positive light. And I don't really see the culture as being done in a way like, I don't watch stories about Croatian culture, or I don't. If a character is Croatian or Polish, that doesn't really speak to me.
Well, people would say it's because you were never oppressed for being Croatian, so you didn't need to reclaim your identity.
But
or whatever.
would they say that about an Italian? Italians were absolutely persecuted.
How on earth that resonates coming from someone like Will Smith is a mystery to me, because Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, and especially their children, have never faced real adversity in their lives. And now they are churning out products from Hollywood to stoke racial animosity and division based on their own insecurities.
So the former Egyptian antiquities minister says that he referred to the series as falsifying facts. Netflix is trying to stir up confusion to spread false information from the origin of Egyptian civilization, that the origin of Egyptian civilization is black. I don't know where to go with something like this. They're not going to. And then did you see that they're now mad about both of the hires for Lilo and Stitch, the guy and the girl?
Well, the guy
it's okay because he's hot.
Yeah,
that's what they said.
The guy, I believe, is like Mexican descent or something.
But they're saying he's not the right complexion.
He's not dark enough either. And we were actually getting some comments about that I wanted to address.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Let me open that up. Because a lot of people were saying, no, like that actress actually is Native Hawaiian. If that is the case, guys, I looked into it and I tried to find more information. I looked at her Wikipedia page and all of these different sources. It says she's half white, half Filipino, and not Polynesian descent.
But that doesn't mean she can be a native of Hawaii, but not be Polynesian.
She is a citizen of Hawaii. That doesn't make her ethnically Hawaiian. And I get the difference. And if people think that difference is important enough to stir up a fuss, then that's their business. I don't personally. So let's look at some comments here.
From Cleopatra?
I'm looking at the Lilo and Stitch one first.
Okay.
They said it wasn't a race swap, it was a tone swap. The actress is Hawaiian, but not the right shade of Hawaiian. The race grifting is getting absolutely perfect when they're mad at a shade of a person.
That's colorism.
It is mostly about her skin color, because what if she were full Filipino but dark skinned? Would they have caused this big of a controversy about it?
Right now, there is no job I would want less than a casting director, which is sad, because back in the day, I think that would have been the most fun job in the world. If you got to work on a big budget production and you got to have the leeway to go and find just the best actors you could to play different roles.
Here's one other comment I wanted to address.
Okay.
They said they've already made remakes with white people, Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast, both movies where the race of the main characters mattered. I'm just wondering what their argument is for why the race of Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast mattered. Why that specifically matter? Because Cinderella has been race swapped twice.
Yeah.
I don't know why Cinderella being white matters.
Know that. They might not know about the Brandy version of it.
It was also Camila Cabello too. But I get
now
that
Snow White is
Lily
coming.
James also played Cinderella in the live action. Yep. They said Little Mermaid Ariel could literally be any race because mermaids aren't real. Sorry, that's just not how this works.
Because it's
she's not a fish.
None of these characters are real.
I mean, none of the characters are real.
Yeah.
So,
but it was written in a specific place by a specific person.
I mean, Beauty and the Beast, she's literally in love with a mythical creature. Yeah. In Cinderella, she has a fairy godmother. None of this is real, but the issue comes in when people start interweaving their personal issues and insecurities and racial I don't know, needs for vindication into childhood stories.
Greeks never I was reading this one comment from somebody who says Greeks never get a chance to play Greeks, but come on, completely changing history for program is mental.
You could equally say that Gal Gadot playing Cleopatra is a problem because she's not Greek. You could say the same thing about Elizabeth Taylor playing Cleopatra because she wasn't Greek either.
There's an actress named, is it Melina Konakaridis? She was in the old CSI New York. She's Greek. She could do it. She
doesn't. That's the point, though. Like, she doesn't need to be Greek.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I'm fantasy booking right now.
And we're not looking at Queen Cleopatra on Netflix and saying it's a problem that Adele James is black. Yeah. We're saying it's a problem when you're trying to pass this off as historical fact.
Yeah.
When it's not. And when part of the trailer literally says, don't listen to what your teachers tell you.
It's a scary precedent to set. Like, to just be like, hey, by the way, everything you were told, it was wrong. But this thing from this profit-seeking entity, I guess, is the school system any more trustworthy? It's not like I trust the school system all that much more these days.
No, but I mean, this was from a woman saying, like, my grandmother always told me, don't listen to what your teachers tell you. Cleopatra was black. That's blatantly ahistorical. Yeah. And if anything, you could just be at peace with the fact that we don't know everything about the ancient world, and we probably never will. And there are a lot of things we don't know, and we can just leave them be.
In the chat, Unknown says Gal Gadot wouldn't do it because of the Israeli-Egyptian war. I don't know if that's like information that I don't know about, but she was signed on to do a version of Cleopatra with Patty Jenkins directing. I don't know if that's new information or if that's something different, but as far as I know, that movie is still being done.
Yeah. I wonder if she's going to get hate for that.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it'll be the same, but because it's not the same type of disagreement here, but I think it'll come up.
Yeah, I think that Gal Gadot is going to get hate for that, and people already hate her because she's not pro-Palestine.
And because she did that horrible version of Imagine.
Oh, and that's
the real crime.
I mean, that's the main thing.
I mean, maybe COVID was just going to go away, but then that happened, and God was just like, nope, it's going to get worse.
Someone else commented, I was surprised that Jada didn't have Cleopatra be bald.
Could have. It's going to be like Queen Alopecia. It's going to be like, that's what'll be the next one.
Love that.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.